going on, guys? Good to see you again. Happy October. I want to say I hope everybody has a good month, of course, and it's filled with a lot of great horror films. Films that you may see for the first time, and films that you'll see in high definition and special editions for the first time, which is a movie we're talking about today, and that movie is Night of the Demons 2. Look, I'm just going to say this. After a rewatch of Night of the Demons 2, I feel very comfortable saying Night of the Demons 2 is the Psycho 2 of the 90s, but in a different way. How do I say this? This is just one of the best horror movie sequels ever. It takes everything the first movie does it better, and then ups the ante. That's the best way to describe Night of the Demons 2. And the thing that I love so much about Night of the Demons 2, this is one of those movies that lives in that nebulous kind of area of mid/early 90s where everything was just kind of felt played out, I guess, by pop culture standards, and horror was somewhat in a lull, although you could argue in the video stores it wasn't. But I'm sure at the time when this came out, it was probably just like one of those things like, oh, they made a sequel to one of those movies from the 80s. You know, by this point, that psychological thriller kind of world was happening. After Silence of the Lambs, you had movies like Single White Female and things like that's what the genre was probably predicated on in terms of like pop culture. So movies like this were probably just like, no, I'm not interested in that. Watching Night of the Demons 2 today to review this, I'm like, I can't believe just how good this sequel is. It's kind of insane how good this sequel is. Everything about this movie, I think, is just simply better. All the cast completely jive so well together. You just feel like you could easily jump into this crew. There's still that little bit of quirkiness with some of the characters that you would see in the 80s films, but it doesn't feel dated. It doesn't feel played out, because in here, the balance is done so well. It feels like this could have come out in the heyday of like the mid 80s and would be looked at as one of the best. The way Night of the Demons got good reviews from like Variety and stuff at the time in the late 80s when it came out. Night of the Demons 2 also has some of the greatest practical makeup effects ever. When Angela turns into the snake, it is one of the most shocking things on screen, and it will surprise you every time you see it. I just can't emphasize enough how good this movie is. I was fortunate enough to get the movie from Olive Films. A dear friend Jill sent it to me for my birthday a few years ago, and I remember loving it then, but rewatching it again, I'm just like, I can't believe how good this, because this release is fantastic, by the way. This is the Scream Factory Blu-ray release, and I can't tell you enough how fantastic this release is. It looks good, everything's great about it. This is the alternate slip, and I think that the Part 1 alternate slip is the best, but what I will say is this one's close, because this is the regular slip. If you got this is what the regular artwork is. Talking about the picture and audio, guys, the picture was really good. You know, it was certainly a nice, crisp 1080p. I don't think it was any sort of 2K or 4K scan, probably just a full 1080p if memory serves, but I will say that the picture was really good, and I couldn't really tell you how much better it was than the Olive Films one, but I'm sure it was probably better. There's a chance that Olive Films Blu-ray was maybe possibly just like an upscaled 720p scan from television or something. It's hard to say, but I would gladly like to think that this one is an improvement picture quality-wise and audio-wise over the old Olive Films Blu-ray. Releases alone, I gotta say, if you're somebody that's really not wanting to grab all three, this I can guarantee you, even though I'm going to watch Part 3 and do my due diligence on the review for that coming very, very soon, I'd like to think that this is probably going to be the best out of the three. With great picture and great audio in this release, with a new collector's version, this has a lot to offer. In terms of special features, I watched all of it. I'm going to take a picture of the back of this, read through the special features, and talk to you guys about what I loved about it. Alright, so we got a new audio commentary with cast members Christy Harris, Jennifer Rhodes, Johnny Moran, and Darren Heems. New A Tale of Two Demons, director Kevin S. Tenay and Brian Trenchard Smith discussed their entries in the Demon Trilogy, and that is feature length by itself. Watching all these special features will be much longer than watching the movie, which is a good thing. New Trick or Treat Sucker, interview with actor Amelia Kincaid, which was, again, extremely in-depth, and she was lovely. New Red Curls and Screams, interview with actor Christy Harris, which also was just lovely. New A Sequel with Guts, interview with producer Jeff Jeffrey, again, a very well-informed interview. New Dailies of the Demon, an hour of dailies from the set. Very vintage, I love that. New Night of the Demons 2 work print with alternate scenes, extended scenes, and deleted scenes. New behind-the-scenes photo gallery from makeup effects artist Steve Johnson's archive. Steve Johnson, after watching this movie, and nice high definition on Blu-ray, you are in fact a special effects god. No doubt about it. So guys, I truly can't emphasize enough how good of a sequel Night of the Demons 2 is. I dare say it blows the first one out of the water. It is clearly, to me, the Psycho 2 of the 90s. This sequel is incredible. It has no business being this good for a sequel, for a 90s film, much less a 1994 sequel. Everything about it just screams like it's not going to be as good, but somehow they got the budget and they had the people to make this a stone-cold classic. If you have not seen Night of the Demons 2, because maybe you liked Night of the Demons, but it wasn't your favorite, like me, although it's growing on me more and more, trust me, Night of the Demons 2, I could almost guarantee you it's for you. This is the Night of the Demons you want. This is the Night of the Demons you'll get. I give the movie a 4.5 stars. It is that damn good. I give this release a solid 10. This is a perfect release. Would it be nice to have a 4K of this? It would. It really would. But it's a great Blu-ray. There is exquisite special features, great special features on this, and the audio and picture is solid, and I love it. This is one of my favorite releases this year. Night of the Demons 2 from Scream Factory, guys. Can't emphasize enough how much I recommend this release. Please tell me your stories on Night of the Demons 2. If you've seen it, you know the greatness that is Night of the Demons 2. If you haven't, I hope this video sways you to check it out. I guarantee you, you will not be wasting your time. One of the best horror sequels of the 90s. Hands down. Thank you guys for watching this video. Old CHH says Night of the Demons 2 is a stone-cold classic. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.